You're listening to DUSARadio's online election coverage at dusamedia.com.
Hello, you're listening to DUSARadio's coverage of the DUSA elections for 2013, and today we are interviewing the two candidates for the Honorary Secretary. I've got the two candidates here, Tim Hustler-Wraight and Jivko Jeliazkov.
Hiya.
Yep.
Hello.
So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to describe the role for you guys listening out there, and then we're going to hear from the two candidates. So the Honorary Secretary is responsible for convening and coordinating the relevant meetings, executive committee, student disciplinary committee, etc. And he or she also has responsibility for taking the minutes of executive committee meetings, convening and chairing the student disciplinary committee, acting as a ward of ceremony for all DUSA ceremonies, such as the annual Students' Awards ceremony, convening general meetings of the association in accordance with the Constitution, convening the Student Representative Council, which is chaired by the chairperson of the SRC, and taking minutes of the Student Representative Council. And I'm now out of breath after saying all that. Tim, let's start with you. Would you like to read out your candidate statement?
Do I have to read it out word by word, do I?
If you've got it off by heart, that's
No.
even better.
I'm Tim Hussler. I'm a second year's politics student. I also do a module of history and first year economics for this semester. And I'm obviously running for Honorary Secretary against Jivko. I pretty much moved myself to Dundee ever since moving here for university. I have a job as a pizza chef up in a fish and chip shop up in near Tesco. Basically I want to help and give something back to the union that has made me so welcome over the last 2 years, basically. Do you want me to read through my policies?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, well, my first policy is basically the work that's been done by Ian has been great. I think we can all agree. And I just want to build upon that and keep going and make sure that we get out to the students much more than we have done in the past. For example, I did a pretty little speech before a lecture today for the first year economics class, and I asked them, does anybody actually know what the executive actually does? And I think about 2 people put their hands up. So I think it should be a good personal aim to, and I think you'll agree, Jivko, to try and change that and make sure every time next time if I do win this, or when I run for election next year, to make sure everyone puts their hands up at that time. My second policy is something very close to everyone's heart, which is the idea of money. For example, the university does provide discretionary funds, emergency loans, and alumni funds. I think it is, and it's weird how so little people actually know about these things. So I want to make it much more accessible and user-friendly, for example, by making it online. We live in the 21st century after all. And my third policy is to make the running of the union, which is like branching out again, like I said before, much more easy by making feedback cards, forums, questionnaires online, so that the constant improvement of this union can be down to you guys, and so the executive, hopefully me, or hopefully Jivko, can maintain the improvement of the union. So those are my 3 main policies.
Thanks very much, Tim. Jivko, would you like to give your candidate statement?
Thank you very much for giving me the word. I'm a third-year Scots and English Law student here at the University of Dundee. I've been the president of the Unactive Society on campus over the past year, the Diplomats at Dundee Society. I've also been a member of the Funding Council of DUSA, so I have been responsible for allocating money to societies. I've also participated in a number of events organized by DUSA, such as Swag Week, as a volunteer. I've done quite a lot of work for DUSA in relation to those events, and I've also represented the University of Dundee at numerous student conferences throughout Europe, such as Model United Nations, Model European Union, and so on. Therefore, I do believe that I have the necessary experience in order to change the union for the better. My 3 main policies are, first of all, to work with the university and to know exam dates earlier and to get exam results via email. This semester, the university has published the exam dates earlier. However, this is only a short-term solution. A fellow SRC member, I'm not SRC member myself, however, an SRC member has put up a motion in order to know exam dates earlier, even earlier, and to make sure that there is a long-term solution to the problem. I also want to push the university to improve e-vision and to search for alternatives such as getting exam results via email. This has been a very, very hard problem in the past, and even though now it's partially solved, I am not completely sure that that will be the case for next semester as well. I also agree with Tim that the current Honorary Secretary has done a great job. Ian has done quite a lot of good practices, so I want to continue them. However, I also want to build on them and focus on provide more information to the students. For example, we've all seen those TV monitors throughout the union. I want all students to be able to see more information about the current motions that are happening in the SRC or throughout the various committees where there is DUSARadio present. I also want to make a monthly newsletter or something like that, so that people can actually understand what exactly those people representing them are doing at the moment. And I want also to publish a list of members of all SRC members with their contact details, so that people can contact the people representing them. My third policy is mainly for the College of Arts and Social Sciences students. Currently, I am one of those students. I have only 5 hours a week. This week, I even have 3 hours, 3 contact hours. I believe that that's just not enough. I understand the concept of independent study. However, I believe that we need to push the university for more contact hours. And if we do so as an exec throughout all committees where the DUSARadio is present, I believe that we can solve the problem.
Okay, thank you very much.
You can breathe.
Interesting policies there. Can I, Tim, we'll come back to you in a minute. Can I start with Jivko first? First policy you said was getting exam dates out earlier. This semester the exam dates were out, believe it or not, on the 18th of February. So pretty much as everyone was getting started. Is that not quite early enough already? Or
Thank you very much for this question. Well, this year there has been a considerable improvement due to a motion put up in the SRC, as I said before. However, that's only a short-term solution. We have spoken with the person, an SRC member has spoken with the person organizing the exam dates, and even though that this semester there has been a solution, that might not be the case for the first semester next year, since that's especially important for international students. I want to find a long-term solution where all school presidents work with their schools and push their schools in order to know exam dates earlier, and to make sure that the schools submit their exams even earlier, so that people can actually know when they can book travel and so on. But
is that actually possible to achieve? Because I'll actually put a bit of personal experience into this. I inquired as to when one of my exams was supposed to happen, because I had a clash of dates potentially. And this is about week 8 or 9 in the semester, and they said no, we can't tell you because it's not been arranged yet.
Well, it's feasible to know all exam results in week 5. As far as I know, the SST member that has been organizing this has spoken with the person organizing it, and he said that it's completely possible. The only problem currently is with the graduate school of law, the UNESCO Center that's here at the university. However, that can be easily solved if we use a prediction scheme where they can predict how many students will take each exam. So,
okay. Right.
Yeah.
So, Tim, let's get on to some of your policies.
Okay.
Your first policy you name is maintain organisation, tradition and order throughout all meetings and coordinate all general meetings to everyone's convenience. What traditions are you...
Well, traditions can range from like the student awards ceremony, but it can also range from the actual events the union run. For example, the events like Rag Week, that was a huge success this year, and I think that should be down as in the union as a tradition. You've got events that certain societies put up within the union. For example, you have the psychology party, you have the sorority sort of varsity events. You have all these, and also with the sports union, and they have nights out and stuff like that. And I think it's important to maintain this to keep a certain togetherness, because people that go to nights out, for example, I'm not a psychology, I don't do psychology, but I think to join in with them is great fun. For example, the physics, the events that they have, I think the traditions that they hold are great, but I'm not a physics student, and they hate humanities students anyway. So,
so you think there's a certain camaraderie to be had?
Definitely.
Okay. I'm now going to move on to a general question that's we seem to be asking all the candidates here, that no matter what position they're running for. Right. When DUSARadio interviewed the current exec, the outgoing exec, last year, they had all these promises and intentions that they were so determined they were going to implement, but they ran out of time before they had a chance to implement them. So if it was put to you, you had one policy out of the three that you've named this is for both of you, by the way, if one policy out of the three that you've both named to implement, which one would you prioritise? So can I start with Jivko?
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, mine would be the transparency one. I believe that there's a considerable problem now in the university with apathy. People don't really care what their exec is doing, which is just ridiculous. We can improve the situation by using the means already available, such as DUSARadio, in specific, and so on. I think that if we do that, and if we make sure that people understand what is happening throughout the committees, and the exec have actually notified all students of what is happening throughout the committees they're sitting in, that the situation will change for the better.
Okay.
Personally, there's two answers. Personally, I think the financial aid something is very, very important.
Right.
However, because that is such a minor policy when compared to the other ones, again, it seems like we're voting for different shades of grey here. I'd have to say with the getting like my idea of feedback forms and forums and questionnaires online, basically because we need to branch out towards students. We need to try, for example, hustings, yes, it was full, but in relation to how many students there are in this university, there was no one there. And I feel like that's a shame, because more people should be excited about hustings. More people should be getting involved in the election process. More people should say, yeah, I want to vote, I want to do this. And so that's why I feel like this idea of getting these forums, these questionnaires, for example, if I'm elected, I'll continue something like what Ian's done and make sure I have a Facebook page and always put out any decisions or anything that I have an idea of, or put polls or questions towards the students to get them more involved, because that's the thing that's the problem. Like apathy at the moment is a major problem.
So it's more of a participation
issue. I think everyone needs to. I think the union is vital to everyone. It's been so vital to me, and it can be so vital to everyone else.
Not only participation though, but understanding as well. Very few people understand what exactly the exec are doing. I even personally don't know, even though I'm associated with the union in a lot of ways, I don't know all the committees that the exec sits in and all the possibilities they have on influencing the university's policy. I think DUSA has an enormous chance to influence the university policy on a number of levels, and I think if we work together as an exec, that will be great.
Right, okay. Now, we've had a chap called Peter Philov, who seems to be asking questions about every single interview that we're doing here. Seems to have a lot of time in his hands to pick apart everyone's statements. But Timmy, he sent in this a question about this particular sentence in your statement. If I can just read it out to you.
Yeah.
The Honorary Secretary post would be a great starting position for me, as it will get me to know the ins and outs of the union and how the cogs go round. Sorry, misread that. It will provide me with a stable foundation to help to build my hopeful DUSA career on. And what he was asking us was, are you wanting this to be a sort of a starting platform for you to build up, or do you want to are you like dedicated to the post of Honorary Secretary if you get it? Or
if I get the post of Honorary Secretary, I will be 100% committed to the post and 100% committed to the students and helping their problems and getting them through their problems. By saying to help get the close go around, like Jivko here, who just said, he doesn't even understand some of the roles that are involved within the executive. And I feel like a role like Honorary Secretary, where you sit on it in so many meetings and so many committee boards and all this and all that, it would be a great chance to really see how much work I could do. And it's not something, I'm not here to sort of build up my CV. I'm here because I want to give something back.
Okay. Jivko, can I now turn to you? Your turn. Sorry, I'm just going to say. Can I ask about the contact hours policy you've presented? Yeah. You said that you only get 3 hours contact hours a week, however when it was you said, and you felt that was insufficient to your needs, and you want to increase it. But how are you going to do that? Because you're obviously asking lecturers to take up more time than they've supposedly signed on for, and does that not then entitle them to get a bit more pay? And if so, where's that extra pay going to come from?
Oh, thank you very much for this question. I think that the first thing we need to do, as with any problem, is to identify it. at the moment, I don't think that the university realizes that a lot of students actually get just a couple of hours per week as contact hours. I personally get maximum 5 hours. This week I have 3. Even though I do understand independent study, even though I understand that the university is facing a lot of cuts right now as the country and throughout Europe. However, I think that if we work with the university and try to find innovative ways of involving the students to have more contact hours in one way or another, that will be that could not have such a large financial footprint on the university's budget and could have a major impact on the students themselves. If we say that this is the problem according to the student body, and if the university understands this, then we can actually solve it. If we don't speak up, there is no way to solve the problem. So that's what I want to do. I want to speak up throughout the committees. Throughout the committees, I will be sitting in if I get elected, and to speak up on these issues, especially important and vitally important to all College of Arts and Social Sciences students, since they are this is their first most experience of the university. They are all that's their study. So I believe that we should tell the university that there is a problem. Thank you.
Okay. And that brings us neatly on to our final general question, which is, of course, about university cuts, the dreaded UC words. And again, it's Peter Fullilove, and he says that one fact I find quite worrying is that uni cuts are conspicuous only by their absence from any of the candidates' manifestos. Can the candidates assure us that uni cuts will be fought if they are elected, particularly with the rise of tuition fees for students from other parts of the UK to pay more for a poorer quality is deeply troubling? Yes. So if you're elected, will you make sure that no cuts go through? This is to both of you. So Tim, go first.
Well, of course, I mean, I'm from England, and so I'm actually paying for my uni fees. I'm paying $1,800 a year, which I'm lucky because I'm the last person that actually came on in the Labour policy, which was to cap. So I don't actually have to pay the new. But of course, people are coming in; they're obviously paying over £3,000. I think Leeds Met, which is actually now paying £9,000, which is the exact same that Oxford is charging, which is ludicrous. So, and I feel that cuts. We can't keep going on thinking we can't cut this, we can't cut that. We have got to cut back. However, we can't cut back and not be efficient at the same time. I think if we increase efficiency, if we have you want more contact hours, that is possible while cutting back hours, while having cut back on finance. But it has to be done cleverly. It can't be just a slash and hack. It can't be basically what, I'm not going to be so political minded here, but it can't be what the Tories have just done basically, which is just slash and hack at every single department like welfare and all like that.
Right.
We can't let that happen. We've got to be efficient, we've got to be clever, and we can't rush into decisions.
Okay, Jivko, do you want to say anything?
Thank you very much. As Tim said, I absolutely agree on this with him. We have to be clever on what we cut. However, as I'm coming here from a EU country, I don't really pay fees, so I do really understand how big this is of an issue to all university students. I personally chose the University of Dundee and coming to Scotland especially because I don't really have to pay any fees, and the Scottish government generously funds my studies here. And I believe that if we speak to the general public, if we speak to the student body regarding the benefits of having free education, regarding the benefits of having of stopping the budget cuts, we can actually try and narrow them to a small fraction of the university budget instead of having large budget cuts, which is the situation currently.
Right. Okay. We're going to start wrapping up. So, I'm going to ask you to give a couple of closing remarks. So, Jivko, do you want to go first? Just a final closing plea.
Yeah.
Don't say please.
Yeah. As one of the other candidates, I believe Jade Ray said in her Facebook page, please, please, please vote for me. But yeah. Yeah, anyway, I believe that I have the necessary experience working with DUSA for over the last couple of years. I believe that I have worked with DUSA in a number of different ways as a diplomat at Dundee president, as a society president, as a member of the funding council, as a volunteer, and throughout many other events. I believe that I understand the issues that the position has at the moment. I understand what Ian has been doing great. I understand what can be improved, and I think if you vote for me, you would vote for a better union. So please, 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 as Jade said, vote for me.
Okay, Tim.
Okay, closing remarks, what can I say? Okay, well, you've heard my policies, you've heard what I have to say. Just a side note, tomorrow evening I'm doing a massive Harlem Shake, and there will be free cake supplied. I even invite Jivko if he wishes to come for a free cake and a wee little wiggle.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to do so.
No.
I have a lecture organized, but
Coincidence that. And I can't boast such experience as Jivko with his MUN, with his MEU, with his involvement in societies. But I can boast the fact that I am connected with every student. I feel that the problems that students have encountered are problems that I've encountered and all my friends have encountered. So a vote for me, I will try to make sure that everything that you want and everything that you feel like you need better, like the financial aid, like you guys getting more involved in the union, will come to fruition. So vote Hustler, don't let yourself get hustled, and make the right choice.
Catchy. See the advantages of having a double-barreled name.
I thank my mum personally for the love.
Yeah. Okay, well, that brings this interview to an end. My thanks to Tim, my thanks to Jivko. Good luck to you both when the voting does open tomorrow, and it's results night on Friday. Is that right? Yep.
Just so Rangers shake, we are shaking hands.
Yes, yeah.
We're not killing each other.
yeah.
It's all nice and lovely in here.
Yeah.
But this has been DUSARadio's coverage of the elections 2013. This interview will be shortly uploaded onto the YouTube channel. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Thank you.